morning, everybody. We are here at 50 Jennings Road in Hartford, our Department of Public Works, as well as our Capital City Command Center, because this is the site where in Hartford we will be collecting guns as part of the first Connecticut statewide gun buyback program. And I'm really proud and grateful to be joined here by Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, and by advocates who have been tireless and effective advocates for common sense gun laws and for gun safety. I want to say a huge thank you to the Song family, to Kristen Song, who's with us, and to her husband Mike, to Newtown Action Alliance and Poe Murray, to Connecticut Against Gun Violence, and here in Hartford to Mothers United Against Violence, who are such a critical part of trying to keep our community safe and help our community heal. As I said, we're here as part of this historic first statewide gun buyback. We regularly hold gun buybacks here in the city of Hartford, as do a number of cities and communities around the state. But today, or tomorrow rather, we're doing it statewide on a coordinated basis so that we can get the message out to everybody that this is your opportunity to turn in that gun. If you've got a gun that you don't want, that you don't know how to handle, that you're not safely storing, that maybe you inherited or maybe you discovered, this is your opportunity to safely turn it in no matter where you live in Connecticut and ensure that that gun doesn't end up stolen and used in a crime or found and used in a tragic accident. I want to stress those last pieces because sometimes those critics of gun buyback programs will say, yeah, but anybody who'd turn in a gun in a gun buyback program isn't going to be using it in a crime. They're missing the point. The point is that a lot of the guns that are used in crimes on our streets or that are used accidentally and tragically are guns that were simply not safely stored, and they were stolen and sold, or they were found and used. So this is the chance for anybody to turn that gun in responsibly. And again, I want to say thank you to all of the members of the coalition statewide who are part of this, and there are many more than are here today. But we wanted to make sure we let everybody know what's happening tomorrow throughout the day. So tomorrow here in Hartford, you can come to 50 Jennings all through the day, and our police department will be accepting those weapons. We're joined here by Sergeant Chris Mastriani, who is our lead on the gun buyback program and also runs our Capital City Command Center. As you can imagine, he's a little bit busy with a lot of things today, so I'm grateful for his being here briefly as well. With that, I want to turn this over to our senators. As you know, Connecticut's federal delegation has been among the strongest, loudest, and most powerful and eloquent voices in support of common sense gun laws and gun safety. And without further ado, let me turn this over to our senior senator, Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, the mayor has been a tireless advocate of gun safety on the streets of Hartford in the neighborhoods, and I want to thank him for his work. And Hartford will be one of only a number of places all around the state where hashtag Kids Safe Connecticut, hashtag Kids Safe Connecticut will be buying back guns. As Attorney General, I started the first gun buyback event in Connecticut. And it was so popular, we ran out of gift cards. They're not going to run out of gift cards tomorrow. And here's the message today. Get guns out of your home, put cash in your pocket, turn in your gun. Make your home safer by removing guns and putting gift cards in your pocket. And that's a deal that's very hard to turn down. $50 for a rifle or shotgun, $100 for a pistol, $200 for an assault weapon. Make your home safer, put gift cards in your pocket. that is the kind of action that people can take. And I'm often asked, what can we do about gun violence? Here's your opportunity. The simple fact is that having a gun in someone's home makes homicides twice as likely. Having a gun in your home makes suicide 3 times as likely. And during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, that's this month, we should be aware that having a gun in your home makes a killing, a murder in domestic violence 5 times more likely. Domestic violence is 5 times more likely if there is a gun in the home. So during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we ought to be especially aware of the need to make homes safer. Guns can be turned in, no questions asked. In most places, no ID required. Completely anonymous, no matter whether the gun is operable or not. And ammunition is welcome too. So these are very tangible, concrete ways that people can take guns off the streets and put gift cards in their pockets if they simply make the trip to the police station in Guilford, Norwalk, Bridgeport, Stamford, Newtown, Hartford, all around the state between 10 and 2 p.m. tomorrow. And just one final point. In Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we ought to be especially aware of the need for safe storage. If you don't want to turn in your gun, the very least you can do is store it safely. And the fact is 4.6 million children are in homes with a loaded weapon unlocked. That is a recipe for disaster. In a limited number of places, a biometric safe, a storage safe, will be offered. And I think you're going to see one of them. Paul Murray will be talking in just a moment. But a biometric safe will be offered to people who turn in their guns in a limited number of places. So get there first and get a safe. I want to thank particularly the Song family, Kristen and Mike Song, and Paul Murray, the Newtown Action Alliance, for their leadership on this project. They have spearheaded it around the state of Connecticut, and I know they're going to talk to this issue, but Senator Murphy and I are championing Ethan's Law in the state of Connecticut. I've offered it again. Ethan's Law would provide for safe storage across the country in every state, just as we have it in Connecticut. We've also supported the Lori Jackson domestic violence prevention law that would extend the current protection under orders issued by courts in domestic violence cases, protective orders that would protect against the kind of assault that Lori Jackson provided. We're going to continue the effort for universal background checks and all the measures that would make our nation safer. But people should know that the vast majority of guns that are used in crimes in Connecticut come from out of state. And a lot of those guns are simply sitting in people's homes right now. We can make Connecticut safer by using this opportunity to turn in guns. The gun buyback is the way to go. So let me introduce my great colleague, Senator Murphy.
Thank you very much, Dick. Let me thank all of our great partners and advocates for helping to put together the first ever statewide gun buyback program. We're going to save lives tomorrow, and we want to send a clear message out to every Connecticut resident that's got a gun at home that they don't know what to do with. Tomorrow is your day to bring that gun down to one of these buyback locations, like the one right here in Hartford, and make your home safer. Make your community safer. Tomorrow is a day that you can do something about the gun violence epidemic in this state and in this country. If you have a gun at home that you're uncomfortable with, that you don't know how to handle, bring it down to one of these buybacks. Get it out of your home. Dick gave you the numbers broken down by domestic violence and suicides and homicides. Here's the overall statistic. If you have a gun in your home, it's not making you safer. It's making you less safe. On average, if you have a gun in your home, you and your loved ones are 3 times more likely to be killed or injured by a gun. Unfortunately, these guns get used far more often in accidental shootings and homicides than they do in efforts to protect your home from intruders. That may be a scene you watch on the TV and in the movies, but it's not how it plays out in reality. So we're really grateful to all of these partners for putting together this gun buyback program. Every gun that we get off the streets makes our community, our state, and our cities safer. There's just no doubt that we live in a world that's awash in guns today, in which the ease of access to guns turns ordinary arguments into deadly incidents. Almost every single day I drive by the corner of Prospect and Sheldon, right next to my house in Hartford, and I think about Shane Oliver, who died just 2 months before Sandy Hook, when an argument over a girl turned into gunshots being fired at him simply because there happened to be an illegal weapon sitting in the front seat of one of the cars. In any other country, that argument maybe ends in a fist fight, but nobody gets killed. In the United States, because we have so many weapons, weapons that often start as legal guns and then become illegal guns, those arguments end up with a homicide. So again, we're really grateful to those that are putting together this partnership. Grateful that we're also going to be helping families engage in the safe storage of firearms. The data shows that in states that have enacted safe storage laws, you can reduce child fatalities by 20–25%. That's a big deal. So that's a big benefit tomorrow as well. But again, just encourage everyone that has a gun at home that you feel a little uncomfortable with, you're going to feel a whole lot better if tomorrow you bring that gun down to one of these buyback programs. You'll walk away from that drop-off feeling safer and feeling like you've done something good for your community, and there's a good reason for that. I'm going to turn it over to Kristen Song. So thank you very much to Kristen and Mike Song for helping to lead these efforts in Guilford and across the state. So, Kristen.
After Ethan died, in the quiet of the night, I would go over every single detail of my beautiful boy's last day. Was there anything I could have done? Was there one thing I could have changed that would have saved Ethan? I tortured myself for months until I learned that Dan Markle, the gun owner, left 3 unsecured guns with ammunition in a shoebox. Even after he knew his son was interested in guns, even after he showed the boys how to shoot in the backyard without our knowledge or permission. I wish I could stand here and tell you that Ethan's death is an outlier, but sadly it is not. 8 to 9 children a day are dying because they've gained access to unsecured guns. Most of the children are using the guns to commit suicide. Children by nature are curious. Teenagers by definition are reckless and impulsive. That is why it is up to all of us to protect them from themselves. In one breath, Dan Markle could have locked up his guns. In one breath, Ethan was shot and killed. In one breath, my world was shattered into a million tiny pieces. So please, if you have an unwanted gun or have a gun that you want to secure, please, please stop by one of the 7 gun buybacks, because it may save a life. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Paul Murray from Newtown Action Alliance. I'm holding this really heavy gun safe. We have distributed hundreds of them across the state, so that gun owners can come pick one of these up. If you have a pistol permit and you make a promise to store your guns safely, we'll give you one of these for free. So please come and get it. We have a limited supply, so please show up. I got involved in the gun violence prevention movement because my neighbor shot his own mother while she was sleeping, and then went down to Sandy Hook Elementary School and killed 20 children and 6 educators. Many of them were my neighbors, and many of them were my children's teachers. 4 of my kids went through the Sandy Hook Elementary School. I can't help wondering, what if Nancy Lanza 9 years ago didn't have guns in her home? What if she had all her guns locked up in gun safes? Maybe those children would be alive, and maybe those educators would be alive today. So we encourage all the gun owners who don't want their guns, right, to come to one of the 7 sites and turn them in for gift cards. We also encourage all gun owners to safely store their guns. It's imperative. Firearms is now the leading cause of death for children in the United States. And in 2020, there were 45,000 gun deaths. When I first got involved in the movement, there were 33,000 gun deaths. So gun deaths have risen over the years, and gun sales have surged as well. So it's imperative that gun owners understand that it's a privilege to own a gun, and they must lock it up. That's the only responsible thing to do in this nation. So thank you.
Good morning, and on behalf of Mothers United Against Violence, we are unbelievable supporters of this movement. As you know, we've been out on the front line since 2002 in the city of Hartford, working with the mayor, the Hartford Police Department, and making certain that whatever we can do to help prevent, that's what we want to do. And this is the prevention side for us. On behalf of Reverend Brown and Mrs. Beckman, our co-founders from 2002, we just want to make sure that all of the families that we've served and we continue to serve, we urge them to bring out the guns that are not legal, bring the guns out, and please provide them to our City of Hartford Police Department and make our homes safer and make our streets safer. We're also trying to urge our families, if you see something, say something, because there's some families that do not like to speak, but we want to make sure that we get them to start to communicate with each other, not just in their households, but in the neighborhoods. So our support of the songs and the movement of gun violence prevention is really key for us, because we know we are just coming off the heels of the Suicide Prevention Month. We're also in the domestic violence. So guns are used so many times. And then, of course, mass shootings. So we cannot forget that everyone in this country has probably been impacted by someone by the loss with a gun. And so for us, this makes it even more urgent. So we're urging people to come out. We'll have a table out here tomorrow with some of the families, and we're urging them to tell their other folks to make sure that even people outside of Hartford, obviously, to come out and really turn those guns in. So this is more than just a day for us. This is ongoing work that we know that if we were not here to support this effort as it relates to gun violence prevention, intervention, this is a movement by so many different folks, our congressmen, our senators. We are moving with that kind of modality because we know how important it is. So we're intentional about this. We'll be out here tomorrow. We'll have a couple of items on Mothers United Against Violence. As you know, we're probably have been to almost every other household in this city, and we've probably held more than 600, 700 vigils, but we're ongoing trying to prevent the next vigil. So if you see us at the vigil, know that we're trying also now to do the intervention inside of that household. And so we're just really, we're very more than pleased to be here because we want to show that this is a movement between all of the partners throughout the state. Thank you.
Hi, thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming and supporting this. Gun buyback program is something the Hartford Police Department takes very seriously. We've been doing them for about 12 years, oftentimes twice a year in the summer and the winter. In that time, we've taken in 1,400 guns. I stayed up late night counting last night. We are over 1,400 guns recovered here. Having worked most of them, I've seen a lot of assault rifles, fully automatic handguns, ghost guns, stolen guns, a lot of different sorts of weapons. So we take it very seriously. And how do you measure the success of these? I get asked that a lot. How do you measure the success? Does this affect crime? I do believe it affects the variables we spoke here too. But how we really measure it is talking to the people that come in and bring in the weapons, because they are so grateful to have an avenue to get rid of these and dispose of them. People with unwanted guns tend to not store them properly. People with unwanted guns tend to keep them in their house for years and years, in their garages, in their attics, and they are victim to burglaries. Kids can get a hold of them. There's just so many different things that can happen with an unwanted firearm. So we speak to these people as they come in, and they are so grateful to have this avenue to get rid of these. When you have a gun you don't want, people don't know what to do with them. You can't throw them away. You can't sell them on Facebook. You can't sell them at a tag sale. So what do you do with a gun that you don't want? Again, it ends up just sitting around your home for years, improperly and irresponsible. So this is just a way to facilitate those people coming in and disposing of them. And we've even had a lot of people that come in and they don't even want the gift cards. They don't want the money, because it wasn't about that for them. It was really about just having an avenue to get rid of that weapon. We will be here. I know the flyer says 10 to 2, but we'll be here at 9 to 3. So if anyone wants to come in early, or if you're running late, we're going to be here a little bit longer. We will be giving out Stop and Shop gift cards for the values spoken to before. Our program's completely anonymous. There will be no IDs, no questions asked. You drop the gun, you go. And all those guns will be destroyed next week. Monday morning we bring them down and they all get destroyed, so they're not resold, they're not turned back out, they are destroyed. So thank you all.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thank you, everybody. I just want to add one piece of information and then open it up to questions. As you've heard, there are drop-off locations in multiple locations across the state. If you want to find out where those locations are, you can go to the Newtown Action Alliance Foundation website. Is it newtownactionalliancefoundation.com? .org, excuse me, Newtown Action Alliance Foundation.org, which will have a list of all of the locations around the state where you can drop it off. But again, if you're in the Hartford area, right here at 50 Jennings Road, it'll be convenient and easy. Just come on by. Any questions?
Oh, I just want to make it clear that you don't have to turn it. Oh, yeah. Just want to make it clear that you don't have to turn a gun in to get one of these free safes. You just have to show your pistol permit and then make a promise to store your gun safely. Thank you.
That's just at the Newtown location, is that right?
No, everywhere.
Oh, that's all 7?
All 7 locations will have safes.